right. Warriors walk away, sort of, barely, walk away with a big win here against the LA Lakers in LA after 2 days off. Obviously, that game in Dallas. 2 off, come into LA. Both teams went into the game fully healthy. Well, starting lineup-wise, obviously, the Lakers are missing quite a few of their bench pieces. But starting-wise, the lineup that typically kills the Warriors, AD, LeBron, they were there. 128-121 victory for the Warriors here. Anthony Davis left the game with about 11 minutes played for Anthony Davis. Not too much. He ended up getting hurt. Eye abrasion, I think is what they said. He got a little bit of an elbow from TrayceJackson-Davis coming down. It was incidental. It wasn't purposeful or anything. Just, unfortunate situation. But Anthony Davis is out. Could be a couple games, I think they said. So tough blow for the Lakers there. However, despite that, I would be pretty, I'd still be a little bit happy if I was a Lakers fan, because despite that, you nearly won the game against the Warriors team that pretty much beat you in every category or tied you in every statistical category. Because even though the Lakers don't play much defense, the Warriors seemingly played less of it. Rough night defensively. Both offenses started the game about as red hot as possible. Anthony Davis was dominating. LeBron was getting his spots, getting all of his shots, everything that he wanted. The Warriors were going early. Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins opened the game up, playing extremely well offensively. Steph Curry didn't even score in the first quarter. They were just doing that well. They still put up 30-something points, despite a scoreless Steph first quarter. Just red hot for both sides. And then obviously Anthony Davis went down, and so the Lakers offense sort of started to slow down a little bit. But the troubling thing there was, once again, as I've said many times, the Warriors just really lack paint defense. Draymond played tonight. TrayceJackson-Davis played. Kuminga, Wiggins, they were all there. But the Warriors were just getting slaughtered in the paint early. When Anthony Davis was playing, it was just, they couldn't do anything. Pick and roll defense, transition, any sort of situation where a big man could get a bucket, they were getting had. Rui was even getting to spots. It was just a rough go. They weren't able to do anything. Again, this is what I've talked about with the Warriors. We talked about that big stretch on the road that the Warriors had where it inevitably led to the trade deadline being about as uneventful as imaginable for the Warriors. But they just weren't playing many teams that had big-time threats inside. And you see this Lakers team, and even with guys like Christian Wood out, or, toolsy guys like Jared Vanderbilt, you still see how dominant they can be in the paint. And the Warriors are just about as bad a matchup as possible for that style of play. And once again, it was looking like it was going to be a pretty handed win for the Lakers, despite the Warriors offense still being pretty red hot. It was just, either shots are going to fall or, Anthony Davis is getting downhill and you're not really doing anything against that. So luckily the Warriors dodged a bullet. Obviously, hopefully Anthony Davis gets healthy soon. But that was a tough blow for the Lakers. Warriors dodged a bit of a bullet in that regard. But other than that, the Lakers still were extremely efficient and solid offensively, because the Warriors, they can't defend for anything. Barely won this game. Again, statistically speaking, the Warriors outmatched or tied them in every category. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, barely below in free throw percentage, but still 12 of 15 to 15 of 18 from the free throw line. Out-rebounded them on the offensive glass, tied on the defensive glass, had more cumulative rebounds, had more assists, tied on steals and blocks, had less turnovers, fouled only a little bit more. As far as the main stuff, points in the paint, Warriors scored more. Fast break points, Warriors scored more. Biggest lead, Warriors had the bigger one. Bench points, Warriors scored more. Like, every statistical category, really, the Warriors won or tied or barely lost. And yet, they only won this game by 7 points without Anthony Davis, with a lot of their bench being hurt. So, this is, again, the defense for the Warriors just not going to code. They're not doing well. You know, we've seen a couple games where, man, they look really solid. The perimeter defense, the energy, the switching, the closeouts are there. But then you've got games like this where it's like the opponent's just scoring at will. They're not trying. I mean, Jesus, LeBron was just like, it genuinely looked like he was just having fun out there. And not in like, he's just smiling or anything, but he was just doing dribble combos and just like Magic Johnson slinging the ball across it was just, he wasn't even doing much. That's how bad the Warriors' defense was, and the Lakers were still scoring. It was a pretty pathetic performance defensively, and something that the Warriors need to continue to improve because, they move up here with this win up to 9th in the Western Conference, surpassing the Lakers, who now are down to the 10th spot. They're now 2.5 games back of Dallas for the 8th seed and 3.5 games back of Phoenix for the 7th seed. Same amount of games back from Sacramento, who is officially the 6th seed after last night. So, lot of continued work for the Warriors that needs to be put in. But honestly, I don't know if the defense is going to get much better. It's just they're too small. Bottom line, Trayce is in or not. This is what I talked about. Like, Trayce is a good player. We've seen how good Trayce can be, how effective he can be on both ends. We know Draymond's still a quality defender. He's still one of the better ones in the league as far as versatility, rim protection, and just overall defense. It just doesn't matter, though. They don't have the size to compete with others. One of the big stalwarts for the Warriors in that dynasty was having 3 centers, 3 legit centers. You had your scoring big, like a David West. You had your rim protector, like a JaVale McGee or an Andrew Bogut or a Zaza Pachulia. And then you had your rim threat, like a JaVale McGee, like an Andrew Bogut. Like, they always had 3 centers that can do one specific thing. They can score outside, they can score at the rim and rebound, and they can block shots. The number one thing between all 3 of those situations, though, or 3 of those players, they were all tall. All of them. They just provided a big body in the paint, whereas the Warriors now don't have that. So a LeBron James can just walk down to the rim and get an and one, as he did in the fourth quarter and nearly brought the game back. Austin Reeves, same deal, getting downhill. No one's there to help. Foul, free throws. They don't have anything. Trayce isn't stopping some of this stuff. Like, he's only 6'9". You can have a twitchy, athletic 6'8", 6'9" center, but you need an offensive one. Not Dario. Dario's too slow. Kelly Olynyk kind of guy, perfect. Or Wendell Carter Jr., perfect. You need someone like that, and then you just need someone who can be a big body, like an Andre Drummond. Someone like that, Tall, can rebound, can block a few shots. And I know Drummond's not the best shot blocker, but still, like, the point stands. You need versatility and you need depth at the center position, and that's just something the Warriors don't have. They're all undersized centers, and none of them are particularly strong defensively outside of Trayce, but he's only a rookie, So, once again, this became a problem for the Warriors. The help defense was dog shit, and the Lakers got whatever they wanted. Fortunately for the Warriors, the Lakers don't defend either, so they got away with a lot of stuff too. And because of that, they won the game. Their offense was just a little bit better, despite, again, no Anthony Davis for most of the game. So, dodged the bullet in my opinion, but a win's a win. Can't really be picky right now, but this is something you got to look for when you're watching these Warriors games. Win or lose, it's like, man, they get into the playoffs and they face a team with the center. It's over. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. So, yeah, I'm watching all of these, and it's like, cool, got the win, but also it's not looking good moving forward. Anyways, to get to the players, because there were some fantastic performances for the Warriors. First off, I'll just say LeBron, continued excellence, 40 points for him, 8 boards, 9 assists, a steal and a block, 15 of 23 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 7 of 8 from the line. Like, classic LeBron, just, 38 minutes. His second best player gets hurt, as always, and he manages to have an incredible game and either win or nearly win. So, Yeah, there's that. But for the Warriors side of things, let's start off here with Jonathan Kuminga. JK, one of the things I've talked about quite a bit with him is there are times where Kuminga can just not really look comfortable or really impactful offensively. You really see the limitations sometimes when he plays a bigger team, you know? He plays a bigger team and he's not really able to get any shots up. He's not confident shooting. He needs that straight line or he needs to be in transition. He's very limited. But tonight, still against a bigger team, and specifically when Anthony Davis was in the game, in that time frame in the first quarter, early second quarter, Jonathan was absolutely stellar. Shooting the ball, shooting it confidently, getting to the rim as well. He was everywhere. He finished the game with 23 points, 9 of 16 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 4 assists, only 1 turnover, which is nice. Having a positive turnover to assist ratio for him is a good thing. Did have 5 fouls, but offensively, I thought Jonathan was really, really good. And he was, again, with Steph having a scoreless first quarter, having that offense to come in was just, it was much needed. Much needed. We talked about it in the last game with Pajemski and Chris Paul. You know, when you're shorthanded, you need other guys to step up, or when other players aren't performing, you need guys to step up. And I thought Jonathan did a great job at that. So defensively, once again, inconsistent. Not a great night for him on that end. A lot of dumb fouls. I just still don't get it why someone's at the rim and you don't just hard foul them. Hard foul. That's it. If they make the free throws, cool. But don't just like barely tap them and because you're like trying to avoid the foul, like commit to it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to foul, just do it. Foul hard. Make him earn it at the free throw line. I've never been a fan of this like little tap the shoulder, like, oh, I didn't touch him, and then it's just an easy and one. You know? I don't know the statistics of it. I don't even know if there is a statistic, but I guarantee the Warriors give up the most and ones in basketball. I'd bet money. For a fact, the Warriors give up the most. Don't know, but that's where I'm putting my money. Anyways, like I said, not a great defensive performance for Jonathan Kuminga. Inconsistent as always on that end. I don't know. I think he'll get better defensively over time, but sometimes it's just like, you know, instinctually, some of these decisions don't seem like he's reading them at all. And it's just, I don't know. It's not like a James Wiseman thing, but at the same time, the offensive steps you see where it's like, okay, he's shooting fadeaways, he's getting aggressive, he's taking guys off the dribble, his dribble's tighter, closer to the body, like you see those improvements. But defensively, you're still kind of in that raw Jonathan Kuminga phase of, okay, he can jump really high and block shots, and he can play some pretty aggressive on-ball defense. But other than that, man, nothing seems to have really changed there. It's just, you know, sometimes that performance is going to look a little better than others. So, solid offensively for him. Defensively, still a lot to be desired. Next, Klay Thompson, who in my opinion was the player of the game. Like I said, Steph Curry, not a first quarter to remember for him, but Klay was just incredible in this game. Everywhere offensively. I didn't see Klay take one bad shot. He finished the game with 26 points. Not one bad shot came out of his hands. Making all the passes necessary, getting on the glass, getting to the free throw line, you know? Not just shooting the first shot that comes up. He was pump faking. He was doing all the stuff that he needs to do, playing the pick and rolls and moving the ball around. Wasn't settling. Like, Klay was spectacular tonight. Defensively, he played all right, but offensively, he was just incredible, you know? This was one of the better games you're going to see from Klay in this new role. Hopefully, again, this is something continued. I'm not expecting it because the legs, it's a give and a take every day, you know? Can't expect the legs to be there. We saw in that Dallas game, everything that man shot, no matter how open or contested, everything was short, you know? This game, it was all falling for him. 26 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, which you guys may say, wow, that's not that much. Why are you so shocked about that? Klay Thompson rarely gets to the free throw line. We all know why, but he doesn't really shoot free throws. So 3 free throws, and I think all of them were and ones, made and ones off of body bumps, off the backboard, fading jump shots or fading floaters, runners, whatever you want to call them. Like, that was impressive. That was impressive from Klay because you don't really see that much from him. The rest of his game, 4 rebounds. That's a lot for Klay. 3 assists. That's a lot for Klay. No turnovers, only 1 foul. He was a +1. Him and Chris Paul were the only 2 positives off the bench tonight. Only 2. Moses got a DMP. He didn't even get to see the floor. Obviously, Dario has not played very well lately. Kevon Looney is just not really doing much for this team, helping to win. So a lot of very short rotation tonight. Moses didn't get to see the floor, but Klay Thompson was absolutely great. So hell of a performance there. I'd say he's the player of the game in my opinion. He was crucial. He helped the Warriors stay in the game in the first quarter, helped them sort of get right back into it in the second quarter, and then helped them take over in the third quarter along with Steph, who was incredible in the third quarter. And speaking of, we will go into Steph next. One of the quieter 30 bombs you're going to see from him until the second half. Like I said many times now, scoreless first quarter, but second quarter started to kind of sort of come alive. Third quarter, Steph took off. I think he had 13 points in that third quarter. Finished with 31, 12 of 24 from the field, only 3 of 10 from 3, remember. Even though Anthony Davis is playing as great defense as he's played all year, with or without him on the floor, the Lakers do not protect the rim well. They are not a very good defensive team this year. Surprising, but they're just not that good. So Steph was getting a lot of shots at the rim. Also 4 or 5 from the line, 6 rebounds for him. 5 assists as well, 2 steals, only 1 turnover, a +4 tonight. Steph was really good, man. Another game for him where it's like one of those quarters is just a dud, but the rest of the game, he's spectacular. Obviously the gravity was huge. He was making a lot of the right plays, getting Klay some open looks off of it. Trace was getting some rolls. Draymond, obviously, with those, bait and switch kind of situations, the fake handoffs and all that. And I thought Steph was great. Not really a game where you're going to, recall a lot from Steph, which is surprising. Again, it's one of the more forgettable 30-point performances you'll see from him, which you don't really think about that, but it was. He kind of felt like he was not a real impact in the first half, but once again, that speaks to how well Kuminga, Klay, and Andrew Wiggins played to kind of keep this thing alive. Quickly, I will say for Andrew Wiggins, he had another solid night, 16 points for him. 6 boards, an assist, a block, 7 of 17 from the field. Did make 2 threes. He was 2 of 6, but he still made 2 threes. So good performance there from Wiggins, who also helped win the game. And I'm going to end it with Draymond. Draymond was unreal tonight. Unreal defensively, unreal just cumulatively. Just played a great all-around game. Draymond Green finished with 6 points, 12 boards, 13 assists, a steal, 3 of 6 from the field. He did miss both threes. The second one I thought looked really good, but it kind of went in and out. I think it was in the third quarter as well. So he had his legs under him, just didn't go in. But he was a +12 tonight, second highest on the team, only to Brandon Pajemski. I thought Draymond was spectacular. You can't ask for a much better performance from him. He was absolutely everywhere, making as many great plays as possible. The amount of times he found Steph on those just extremely tight window, backdoor cuts, all that stuff that, everyone's top blocking him so Steph doesn't get the shot, and then he just goes down low and Draymond drops it right into Steph's hands. So many of those, some alley-oops, a half-court alley-oop to Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, he was spectacular. Draymond was spectacular, one of his best games of the season by a mile. Again, it kind of sucks that there was no Anthony Davis. Draymond got a couple stops on Anthony Davis, I think like 3 before he got hurt. So still had a solid performance against him, all things considered. But yeah, big game for Dre. I thought he was fantastic and need more of that from him moving forward, especially keeping the turnovers down and keeping the assists up. we've seen Draymond kind of press a little bit as far as passing in these last few games, trying to force the tight window stuff when it's just not there. Tonight, he picked his opportunities much, much better to do that stuff, especially because, again, the Lakers just have not had much rim protection. Even with Anthony Davis there, no matter how great he plays, someone else is making a mistake. So I thought Draymond just did a great job at exposing that. And Warriors walk away with the win. Once again, not really one that you're going to, hell yeah, cheer home. It's not that kind of a win for the Warriors, but get them how you can. You move up a little bit in the standings here. Hopefully, again, you get to the 8th seed, bare minimum, by the end of the year. Obviously you need to stay in the play-in to get to the playoffs potentially, but the goal would be to get to the 7th or 8th seed or all out of it altogether. They are very capable of doing it, but they need to execute a lot better defensively, and offensively, the consistency just needs to be there. Andrew Wiggins needs to keep this kind of performance up. Jonathan needs to keep this kind of performance up. Podziemski, continue the good offensive play overall. Don't force shots. Just keep going with the normal stuff. Steph, stay consistent. Klay, if you could potentially be consistent, that would be spectacular. I think if Klay can just average like 20 off the bench on, maybe not 50-40, but like 48-38, something like that, that'd be awesome. And Chris Paul, keep up the offense. He's had 2 great games in a row offensively. Tonight he had 8 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, only 1 turnover. He was 4 of 7 from the field. Kind of bridged the gap between the third and the fourth quarter. Just hit a few of those elbow jumpers we know he's made his entire career. So, consistency, man. Consistency is what the Warriors need moving forward because they can climb. They're not too far out of this. They can get into the playoffs and get out of the play-in in general. It's doable, It is doable. So, big win. Hopefully Anthony Davis gets better. We'll see you with another game. The Warriors play, I think, next against the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The Warriors play their next game in San Francisco against the Knicks. That's going to be a big one. Still, the Knicks are still going to be undermanned. It is what it is. You got to win the game. Got to win the game. The Warriors have given a few up that they should have won in these last 10 or so games they've played. So this is one where you got to walk away with the win here and just keep the pressure on. Keep moving up in the standings. Keep forcing other teams to try and win, or just let them know that you're right there and you're actually pushing at them. So, could be a potentially big 5-game stretch here where the Warriors make up some significant ground. So, I'm excited. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. And with that being said, more podcast clips will be coming out. We dropped one yesterday, so if you're interested in that, that'll be in the description. The entire playlist of podcast stuff will be in the description as well. Another one will be uploaded tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And with that being said, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Warriors fans, Lakers fans, let me know what you thought down below. And have a good rest of your weekend. Peace.